In this episode of the How to Get on Reality TV podcast, I'm going to help someone that's been trying to get cast on reality TV for 16 years. Welcome to the How to Get on Reality TV podcast with Dan Giesling, where I answer your reality TV casting questions once a week. Hey guys, what's going on? Really excited for this week's podcast. We have a really unique question from the audience that I'm going to go out on a limb and say we're never going to hear again from anyone else. But it's someone's been on the journey for a long time. I'm really excited to jumping in and doing my best to help out this individual and hopefully right their wrongs or get the ship steered in the right way. Outside of that, if you're watching this on YouTube, you know that I'm back in the home office just for this episode. If you're listening on iTunes, it has no effect on you either way. I'm still just as excited no matter what location it is that we're shooting this. Before we get into this, talking about helping someone that's trying to get on a show for 16 years, a lot of shows are starting to open up right now. A lot of the popular shows in the U.S. are starting to open up their casting, and one of the things that's starting to fire back up on my end is a service that I offer. It's definitely the highest end premium product that I offer on the site, and I'm actually just finished with a two-time client, and essentially what I do is I do audition video reviews. And what you get with that, if you go to howtogetonrealitytv.net/video-review, you send me your audition video and you get 2 files back. So the first file you get back is I watch your audition video and record my initial first impressions live. So you'll be able to watch your audition video with my commentary synced up live for the very first time. So it'd be like a first impression video, because after you watch your audition video time and time again, you don't get the first impression, objective first impression that you want. You're going to always see it from a biased view. So I give you that first objective first impression in the form of like a director's commentary. So then the second file you get is my must make changes. So I give you the first impressions, I watch it again a few more times and come up with 3 specific changes you have to make to your audition video to help propel yourself to success or put yourself in a better position to be successful. So that all that information, if you want your audition video reviewed, like I said, is the highest end premium product I offer on the site. I just, a lot of people started sending me audition videos. I didn't have time to do them all anymore, so I had to offer it as a service. And those that, it's cool when there's repeat clients. And so anyway, so I'm just finishing that up. But if you want to find out more about having me physically review your audition video, you can go to howtogetonrealitytv.net/video-review. It's something that I don't talk about a ton, but now is the time. It's very applicable when people are getting ready to pull the trigger on sending in their audition videos. And if you're not sure about it and you want an extra set of eyes, be sure to check out howtogetonrealitytv.net/video-review. So that being said, we're going to jump into this week's really unique scenario from one of our listeners. Enjoy.
What's up, Dan? My name is TJ, and I've been hooked on the podcast ever since I heard the Troy Zan casting story, mainly because my casting story has been much longer. This year marks the 16th year I have applied for Survivor without ever getting a single phone call. So my question to you is, what the heck am I doing wrong? A little bit about myself is I have a boring job title. I work in a factory, and that job title has landed no one on the show. My true passion in life is coaching kids. My first year of coaching was able to save a kid's life who was choking, and that's when I knew that's what I was supposed to be doing. I hate country music, guns, and alcohol. I think that's something that not very many people can say. So I would love to hear a little feedback from you and see what I need to be doing to try to get a little success out of this. Thank you.
All right, James, first and foremost, I got to show you some love, man. 16 years. That's very determined, and that has now become a part of your casting story. So with the good, sometimes there's the bad. Okay, so the good news is you haven't given up. The bad news is you haven't got a call. Okay, so to me, that means either one of 2 things. And we're going to get into it based on how you explain yourself. Either, you're not portraying yourself in the right light, or you don't understand how to essentially sell yourself. Or number 2, what you're selling isn't very good, or what you're selling isn't very compelling. And it's not to say you're not very good or you're not a good person or you're not a good character, but you just don't understand what you're selling. And, going 16 years without a call, that's, I can't imagine what that's done in terms of, trying to beat up your motivation, but it sounds like it hasn't at all, which is great. The good news is that's where the good news ends. So here's why you submitted this question, James, is because you want help. So I'm going to help you. So I'm glad you got into some of your story of what you share in your audition video. But the first thing you said when you explained your story, James, said, I have a boring job title. And if I thought this podcast were boring, this is how I would talk about it. It's a boring podcast. I don't really think there's anything unique about it. And it's just kind of boring. Okay, but no one would listen if that was the case, right? Because, and it's not how you presented it, but it's how you think about it. If I felt like this podcast was boring, if I felt I wasn't helping people with this podcast, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't just sit. You can tell someone's intention. And for you to frame one of the major selling points of your Chiron as what did you say? You said you drive trucks, right? No, you work in a factory. I stand corrected. So I'm a boring factory worker. You said my job title is boring. It doesn't have to be, okay? And matter of fact, I don't know how many factory workers we've ever seen on a show like Survivor, okay? And you say there's never been a factory worker on Survivor. Those are all great things. You could be the first factory worker. You could be the guy that's associated with, hey, remember James, he's a factory worker, okay? It's all in how you present it. Right? You have to be able to tell stories and present yourself as a factory worker as a positive. Okay. What are things that you've taken from a factory worker, like the daily grind? Like you're going to see people in there that are, have white collar jobs or they never worked a day in their life and you've been grinding at this your entire life. There's a lot of strengths you can pull from that, but that's got to be a centralized, exciting part of your story, not boring. If you treat it as boring, no one's going to want to watch it. And I'm going to guess that's probably what led you to not getting any callbacks. You have to embrace your side as a factory worker. And with that, pull in some stereotypes with it. Not necessarily stereotypes that don't apply to you, but if you're a hardworking blue-collar factory worker, that's how you should present your video. Don't shy away from that because all of a sudden that's a big part of your life and you're like, oh, I want to be a coach too, or I'm a coach too. It just doesn't match up. For you, it would be you're the factory worker who also enjoys helping kids and enjoys coaching kids. So it sounds like you have a great story to back up your coaching. You said that you actually saved a kid from choking once. That's an awesome story that I'm sure you've told. But what awesome stories do you have about being a factory worker? I know there are some. You may not think they're exciting because it's something you see every day. But for people that don't work in a factory, people are going to be interested to hear that, especially casting people. So think about, James, what are some things on the job that are daily and routine to you, but for the average person that doesn't work in a factory, that may be exciting or maybe like, whoa, you really do this? You really like stamp, car parts or whatever it is that you do. Talk about the grind of it, the physicality of it, the mental fortitude it takes to continue to go and do the same thing day in and day out or deal with different types of people. And how that's, dealing with blue collar workers is going to be so much easier than, or training with blue collar workers is going to be so much easier than dealing with white collar, however you want to spin it. But you've got to bring some excitement and you got to be proud of the fact that, that's what you do. That's going to be a great part of your story that no one else is going to have. I'm going to go out on a limb and say this is stereotypical. There probably aren't a lot of factory workers that listen to this podcast, okay, that are in tune enough to understand they need to learn how to sell themselves to get on reality TV. So make that a huge strength because, it's just such an easy sell. Like I look at it and like, dude, you're a factory worker. Like that's the easiest Chiron in the world to sell. And you can help set that up, man, no doubt. The other thing you mentioned that I liked is, that's contradictory to, being stereotypical. I don't believe this, but typically people who you may think work in a factory are, do drink and, do like guns. This is just spitballing, okay? So the fact that you don't, I would guess that that's the inverse of what people would expect. So talk about, especially now with what's going on in the country, talk about your disdain for guns, how strongly you feel about that, why you feel that way, what's a story that makes you believe that? Is there something that happened in your hometown? Is there something that happened to a family or friend? Why do you not like guns? I would match this. Here's how I'd match your story. You're a factory worker who loves coaching kids and hates guns. Boom, right there. You pull out 2 stories for each one of those points, you're going to be in a great spot, man. I don't know what your audition video looks like, but all I can help you with is your story, and that will help you, man. Embrace. I feel like I've never been this passionate about someone's story before, because it's just such an easy sell. We don't have to pull out and figure out, hey, how do we make your character interesting? That is interesting enough. You just don't see it that way. But James, I really hope this helps. I hope this helps focus you in the right direction and embrace who you are as a character, as opposed to try and be something you're not. But James, as a small thank you, we're going to send you a free digital copy of my story, How a Normal Guy Got Cast on Reality TV. And if you want your question answered on the podcast, go to howtogetonrealitytv.net/ask and submit your voicemail question there. You can do it from your phone. You can do it from your browser. It's really easy. And if you want to even submit your story, your casting story, like James, I'll listen to it, man. And I'll do whatever I can to help you guys out. But go to howtogetonrealitytv.net/ask and submit your question there. James, thanks so much, man. Great question. And don't stop at 16. Keep going, man. All right, man. That was a great, I don't know, I keep saying man this podcast. That was a great question. Really fired up, because a lot of people are sitting on great stories, but they're trying to look at themselves from a different angle that isn't exactly who they are. And I think that's the quintessential thing that James is doing wrong. But the good news is it's an easy fix, and I think he's going to do that. But this is a great example of this podcast being a similar glimpse into what I offer in terms of the audition video reviews. So if you want this sort of a breakdown in a more personal way that includes 2 audio files, one of which you can sync up and listen to my first impressions of your audition video, and the second audio clip is the specific changes you need to make your audition video to put yourself in a position to be successful. If you want your audition video reviewed by me, you can check out more information. It is a premium product and service offered on the website by going to howtogetonrealitytv.net/video-review. So it's howtogetonrealitytv.net/video-review. You can check out all the information there. And I'm telling you, casting's opening up right now for a couple different shows, and now's the time to get started, because you don't want to submit your video towards the tail end of casting. You want to get in there early on and get on the radar. So with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I will see you guys next week. Thanks for watching and listening.